In the last presentation, we have seen the method 1 of finding the greatest common divisor of two numbers using Euclid's algorithm. In this presentation, we are going to focus on the method 2 of finding the GCD of two numbers using Euclidean algorithm. Let's dive into the outcomes part. Upon the completion of this session, the learner will be able to, we have only one outcome for the day, which is understand Euclid's algorithm to find the GCD of two numbers using method 2 approach. Basically, Euclid's algorithm remains the same, but the approach how we are solving the problem of finding the GCD of two numbers is going to be different in both the methods. But remember, algorithm wise, the Euclid's algorithm remains the same for both method 1 and method 2. My intention of creating two methods for finding the GCD of two numbers is to provide the liberty to the audience or the learners to pick and choose the best method whatever they want. If you feel method 1 is easy for you to understand, then please go ahead and solve the problem of finding the GCD of two numbers using method 1. Or if you find method 2 as the best one for you, good, you can go ahead and choose method 2. Anyway, it's up to you to take which method you are going to use for finding the GCD of two numbers. Let's dive into the topic. We know Euclidean algorithm or Euclid's algorithm is used for finding the greatest common divisor or the highest common factor. Please remember, divisor or factor both refers to the same concept. So, greatest common divisor and highest common factor refers to the same. Let's see the Euclid's algorithm now. Basically, this Euclid's algorithm, we know that we are going to use it for finding the greatest common divisor. So like in the last method, here also we are going to set a prerequisite that A should be greater than B. For example, if you are going to compute GCD of A comma B, it means you make the first parameter which is bigger than the second parameter. Let's say if the question is GCD of 10 comma 20, here first parameter is 10, second parameter is 20, right? So better swap this. It means GCD of 20 comma 10. If the question is GCD of 10 comma 20, just change it as GCD of 20 comma 10 so that the first parameter A will be obviously bigger than B. So for this algorithm, I am going to set the prerequisite as A is greater than B. In case if A is not greater than B, just swap it and make it A is greater than B. So the algorithm goes like this. So this is the subroutine name where it takes two parameters A and B. Now we know very well that whenever the B parameter is 0, whenever the second parameter or the B parameter is 0, then obviously A is the GCD, right? In method 1 also I told you we are going to compute A mod B, right? So when you compute A mod B, we are going to get two outputs. One is the quotient and the other one is the remainder. So what are all the columns we had in method 1? Just recollect. Quotient in the first column, A, B and R in the second, third and fourth columns respectively, right? And in method 1, we stopped this process when the B parameter becomes 0, isn't it? I hope you can recollect this. Whenever B becomes 0, that is the second parameter becomes 0, then whatever is there in the first parameter, what is there in the first parameter? A, right? So whenever B becomes 0, A is the GCD, so I am just returning it. In case if B is not equal to 0, then what we need to do? So if B is not equal to 0, then else part will be executed by returning Euclids of GCD B comma A mod B. It means, just recollect this part. So if B is not equal to 0, then now this parameter A will be taking the value of B and the parameter B is going to take the remainder of A mod B, right? So A mod B means it's the remainder. This is similar to method 1. In method 1, we solve this problem using tabular column approach. But here we are going to solve differently. That is, we are going to recursively call this function again and again till this part becomes 0. Whenever this part becomes 0, that is B becomes 0, then A is the GCD, right? I know it will be difficult for you to understand at this moment. If we see some examples, we will understand things clearly. Let's see example number 1. The question is, find the GCD of 50, 12. So here this is A and this is B and A is greater than B. So let's solve this now. So here, what are all the given information? A is equal to 50 and B is equal to 12. Right, so we know what's the formula for finding the GCD. So GCD of A comma B is equal to GCD of B comma A mod B. Right, so here A is 50 and B is 12. We will just replace this A and B with these values respectively. So we get GCD of A comma B, that is GCD of 50 comma 12 is equal to GCD of 12, which is B, right? So what is B here? 12. So GCD of 12 comma A mod B. What is A? 50. What is B? 12. So 50 mod 12. So when you do 50 mod 12, 50 when it is divided by 12, 12 4 times 48 and the remainder is 2, right? So we get GCD of 12, 2. Is this algorithm going to stop? No, this algorithm is going to stop whenever B becomes 0, right? Is the parameter B 0? No. Since the parameter is not 0, what we are going to do? We are going to recursively run this algorithm. So this is GCD of A, B now. So previously A was 50, B was 12. Now A is 12 and B is 2. So we are going to run this algorithm with A as 12 and B as 2. So I am going to solve this. So GCD of 12, 2 I am taking here. So this is A, this is B. Now GCD of A, B can be written as GCD of B, A mod B, right? So what is the value of B? So you refer this formula. What is the value of B? Here B is 2, right? So GCD of 2, what is A? 12. So 12 mod 2. So when we simplify this, we get GCD of 2, 12 mod 2 is 0, right? 2 6 times 12 and the remainder is 0. So we get GCD of 2, 0. Now, is this algorithm is going to continue recursively? No. This algorithm is going to stop when the second parameter, that is the B value, is 0. Here the B value is 0. So whatever is there in A, that's the GCD, right? So GCD of 2, 0, we need not to recursively run this algorithm again because here B is 0. So whatever is there in A, so here A is 2. So 2 is the GCD. So the answer for this question, GCD of 50, 12 is 2. Let's see one more example, then you will understand things clearly. Example number 2 is finding the GCD of two numbers 83 and 19. Let's solve this now. Here A is equal to 83 and B is equal to 19. Are we going to swap? No need because A is greater than B. Let's solve this now. We know the given data are A is equal to 83 and B is equal to 19. So GCD of A, B is equal to GCD of B, A mod B. This is the formula. We are going to recursively do this till the second parameter becomes 0. So we will substitute A is equal to 83 and B is equal to 19. When we substitute A is equal to 83 and B is equal to 19, then we will get GCD of B, which is GCD of 19, 83 mod 19, right? So when we simplify this, we get GCD of 19, 83 mod 19, we will get the remainder as 7. So we get GCD of 19, 7. Are we going to stop this? No, the second parameter is not 0, that is B is not 0. So we are going to recursively apply this formula till this part becomes 0. So here A is equal to 9 and B is equal to 7. So we are going to compute GCD of 19, 7, which gives GCD of B, A mod B. So B means 7, 19 mod 7. So when we simplify this, we get GCD of 7, 5. So second parameter is not 0. We are going to apply this algorithm again. So GCD of 7, 5 will give GCD of 5, 7 mod 5. So when we simplify this, we get GCD of 5, 2. Still the second parameter is not 0. So again we are running this algorithm. So GCD of 5, 2 will give GCD of 2, 5 mod 2. Why? Because this is B, this is A mod B. Because A is 5, B is 2. So GCD of B, A mod B. This formula, right? Now when we simplify this, we get GCD of 2, 1. Still the second parameter is not 0. So I am running the algorithm again. So GCD of 2, 1, we get GCD of 1, 2 mod 1. So 1, 2 mod 1 will give 1, 0. So 2 mod 1 will give the remainder 0. Now the second parameter is 0. Whatever is there in the first parameter. In other words, when B is 0, A is the GCD. What is the value of A now? It's 1. So we get the answer as 1. It means these numbers 83 and 19 are relatively prime. Are you wondering that I am using the term relatively prime for the first time in this lecture series here? No worries. In the next lecture, we are going to see relatively prime numbers. There we need the concept of finding the GCD of two numbers in order to check whether the two numbers given are relatively prime to each other or not. Before we sign out, let's see the homework question. The question is, find the GCD of 529, 123. You can either follow method 1 or method 2. After solving this, I request you to post your answers in the comment section. And that's it guys. I hope now you understood the Euclid's algorithm to find the GCD of two numbers in a detailed manner. I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation and thank you for watching.